All right, let's do it.
I feel like we can run the table. I really do.
Giants looking for a stop. They're going to air it out. Rodgers does this better than anybody. End zone, Cobb, touchdown! Unbelievable! This to send the Packers into the NFC Championship game. It is good! The Packers are moving on! Aaron Rodgers has done it again!
Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I am your host, Tom Grossi, and here we are again discussing another loss to the Atlanta Falcons. And as you can see, I am nothing but smiles about this. I'm dead inside. So before we get to the wonderful Packers game, in other NFC North action, the Detroit Lions will be taking on the New York Giants tonight. I expect the Lions to win that game, but the Giants do most likely have Odell Beckham back, so that might give them. But if the Giants show up like they did last week against the Cowboys, they aren't beating anything except themselves. So I see the Lions pulling away, and so they'll be most likely leading the North after this podcast is posted, which is just great. But Chicago got blown out by Tampa Bay 29-7, was almost 29-0. Pittsburgh also beat Minnesota pretty handily, 26-9. And again, Minnesota, which looked so good last week, they didn't have Sam Bradford this week, but I'm not too concerned with them. But let's get to the main talk of the day. The Packers lost 34-23, and if you didn't tune into the game, don't worry, you didn't miss anything, and the score was not that close, as the final score indicated, because we were severely outmatched the entire game. Now, to the Packers' credit, Jordy Nelson went down shortly after the first drive, and it was great because I have him on fantasy, so he put up a big old goose egg, but it looks like that his injury is not serious, so he had a quad injury. Thankfully, nothing to worry about, hopefully. Randall Cobb also went out near the end of the night. He has an upper body injury. He's getting MRI today. Hopefully that's nothing serious. And Mike Daniels, that was the one I couldn't find anything on. Mike Daniels was severely missed because we needed some kind of pass rush, and we just didn't really have it. We got to Ryan a few times, but we really, really missed Mike Daniels, who had an amazing game last week. So hopefully everybody is recovered from that. We also had our two best offensive linemen, Brian Bulaga and David Bakhtiari, out as well. So that was incredibly frustrating because Rodgers was seeing the ground a lot. He got hit a bunch. So that was, all in all, not really a great night on the injury front, but hopefully none of those are serious and we can get them all back shortly. Now, let's talk about the positive first because this will be quick. One, Aaron Rodgers threw his 300th touchdown pass, and it is the fastest in NFL history. So that's pretty cool. It was a left-hand shuffle pass to Ty Montgomery, probably one of his least impressive throws. He's just I don't want it anymore. But now he has 300 touchdowns, so that's pretty cool. So good for you, Aaron. Congratulations with that. Also, Ty Montgomery still looked great, 10 for 35 on the ground, 1 touchdown, and 6 for 75, 1 touchdown through the air. So I'm still very impressed with Ty Montgomery. He seems to have adapted to this role pretty nicely. It also would have been nice if he had an offensive line blocking for him, but I'm expecting a big season from him. He looks great. Also, the one other thing that looked great, besides we'll talk about our defense in a moment, but Kevin King, holy crap, the rookie looked amazing. He looked fantastic. I think out of 32 balls, he didn't allow a completion. So Kevin King had a great night, and this was really a trial by fire for him, and I am very, very impressed with what he was able to do. So, hopefully that's a plus for our secondary, and he turns into a superstar that I know we all hope that he is. Now, before we get into the logistics, let's talk about the crappy things. I complained about the refs last week for both sides of the team. I think there were some bull crap calls, but holy crap, man, that Martellus Bennett chip block, whatever bullshit you want to call, excuse my French, but that was BS, and that totally shifted the confidence in the game. The Packers, if they scored, would have only been down 1 score and getting the ball at the beginning of half, which, they wound up throwing it backwards, but that could go either way too. I'm not going to blame the refs for the loss because we couldn't stop the Falcons even if we wanted to, but I think that definitely did make a difference. So, talking about the defense, and it seems to be the same old story, right? I mean, I think that, you see this game on the schedule. Packers fans are hoping for revenge, and it's a great test. And the thing that confuses me is that the Bears get blown out this week, and they are essentially could have beaten the Falcons last week. And it's just because the Falcons was it the first week? Was it because they were on the road? I don't know. But the Packers then get blown out by the Falcons, and I just don't understand. I mean, you have at the NFC Championship game, it's 24-0. This year at half, it's 24-7. So don't worry, guys, just 3 more seasons and we'll be winning at halftime. Like, these are the kind of things that, what adjustments do you have to make? Can you put the blame entirely on the defense? Is it the fact that Mike Daniels was out? I mean, it's a big problem that you don't have a pass rush, but at the same time, what's the excuse for the secondary? Kevin King obviously did well, but Rollins and Randall didn't have a great night either. Julio Jones was putting up huge numbers in the beginning of that game. And if we had kept it close, like if we had scored on that Bennett drive, they would have still kept putting up numbers. And so some of you might be like, oh, well, let me hang my hat on the fact that they didn't really score too much after the third quarter. Yes and no. And I say no is because they were winning at one point like 31 or 34-7. They don't need to put up points anymore. They just need to run down the clock. So, I mean, Matt Ryan wasn't really super duper aggressive, so I didn't really see anything that made me feel good about the defense at all. And so here we are again. Is it a Dom Capers problem, which it might have been now for however God many years? Is it an issue of personnel? Is it Rollins is terrible? Is it Randall that's terrible? I just don't. I don't know what you need to do in order to make this defense good. You can go out into free agency and spend all the money you want. I just don't see improvement. You see a guy like Kevin King, and I'm happy we got him. And listen, last week we looked great, but this is one of the best offenses in the NFL, and we could not stop them. Couldn't stop on the first drive, couldn't stop on we just couldn't do it. And so it's incredibly frustrating because it seems like it's deja vu. I thought I was watching the NFC Championship game by accident. It's incredibly frustrating to watch. And if the Packers had kept it close in the first half, I don't doubt that the Falcons would have ran away with it in the second half because they would have been more aggressive. So I don't know. I'm going to be happy if there's no injuries. I'll be very, very happy if everyone is healthy. I know we missed Jordy, but I can't even blame the offense fully because, again, even if the offense, it's just not, this isn't the 15-1 season. And even if it was, look what happened in the divisional round. You can't go to a Super Bowl without a defense. You don't have to be the greatest defense in the world, but you need a defense. And to think that the offense needs to put up more than 34 points to just be able to compete is ridiculous. And I don't see an easy solution with this, and it's incredibly frustrating. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Because, I mean, you had to be frustrated watching the game. And again, at least I knew by the beginning of the third quarter that it was over, and I can stop getting my hopes up. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a downer for this episode, but this sucked, man. Like, this was bad because I thought that we'd be more prepared for this. When I was talking to our Falcons fan, Scott, from last week, both of us were like, it's going to be a super competitive game. And again, it's a blowout. I think if we're taking any good out of this, hopefully, again, there's no injuries. I think we have faced the hardest 2-game stretch. We're playing the Bengals next week, and then I think we're playing the Bears on Thursday Night Football. I'm hoping that the Rodgers beats the Bengals. It's the only NFL team he hasn't beaten, so that'd be cool. But I think the 2 hardest opponents we're going to have left this year is going to be Dallas, because it looks like Ezekiel Elliott's staying around, and Pittsburgh. I think that those are going to be the 2 most difficult ones. We'll see what the Lions do tonight. But, I mean, you can theoretically still finish 13-3, 12-4. I think 12-4 would be more likely because I could see us splitting a game with either the Lions or the Vikings potentially. So, I mean, I'm hopeful. This is not, throwing in the towel. This is not giving up in any way, shape, or form. But it's incredibly frustrating to see a team where over and over again, the problem is the defense. And you can spend draft picks, you can spend money, you can do whatever, but the problem's not changing. I mean, what do you think it is? Because at some point you got to start pointing fingers at somebody, because nothing's changing at all. So, all right, I think we got it out. I mean, what do you think about the game? What do you think about this week? Let me know. And again, we just got to knock on every wood possible that there is no major injuries, because we really just can't afford them. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com. That's TOMGROSSI Comedy, or at Tom Grossi Comedy on Twitter. Check out Packcast, Packast. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, and YouTube every single week, twice a week, and then with our predictions episode. This coming Thursday, we'll have a Bengals fan on for the first time. I've never talked to a Bengals fan. Very excited. We'll see, because if there's any other team that's probably more pissed off than I am right now, it might be a Bengals fan. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on Thursday. And as always, go Pack Go.